to Chicago State University bears a female, indicating that that document does not belong to Bola.
This top accurate global news update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Ukraine faces a second winter of lengthy power outages amid relentless Russian missile and drone attacks that have left part of the energy system more vulnerable than a year ago. Thousands of engineers have toiled over the summer months to repair broken equipment, and better air defenses would help mitigate the impact of the war as temperatures begin to drop. But there has been neither the money nor the time to complete preparations for the winter, many more long nights without light, heat and water for millions of Ukrainians, and more suffering too for businesses and the wider economy. Ukraine accuses Russia of deliberately destroying energy installations to inflict maximum suffering on ordinary people, a charge Moscow denies. It says it does not target civilians, only military facilities. Ukraine declines to share detailed data on the impact of attacks on its energy system, treating it as sensitive information during wartime. But the United Nations estimated in June that Ukraine's power generation capacity had been reduced to roughly half the levels before Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Out of nearly 37 gigawatts, more than 90 gigawatts have been destroyed, damaged, or occupied. Syria on Friday held funerals for scores of people killed in a drone attack on a graduation ceremony at a military academy in the Homs region the previous day, one of the bloodiest strikes against the military in more than 12 years of civil war. Several weaponized drones hit the Homs military academy's courtyard, where families were gathered with the new officers on Thursday. Minutes after Defense Minister Ali Mahmoud Abbas had left, Syria declared 3 days of mourning. There have been no claims of responsibility for the attack. Syria's defense and foreign ministries blamed what they described as terrorist groups without specifying further, and vowed to respond, quote, with full force. On Friday morning, coffins carrying victims and draped in the Syrian flag were sent out from the Homs military hospital. A military band played somberly, and lined up troops gave the salute. At the scene, Abbas said the blood spilled was, quote, precious. Syria's health ministry said 89 people had been killed, including 31 women and 5 children. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, which reports on the Syrian conflict, put the toll at about 120. Russian President Vladimir Putin has suggested that the plane crash which killed the head of the Wagner mercenary force, Yevgeny Prigozhin, was caused by the detonation of hand grenades inside the aircraft. Putin suggested on Thursday that Prigozhin's plane was blown up from the inside, not hit by a missile, as rumored, saying that the head of the Russia's investigative committee had reported that traces of explosives were discovered in the bodies of those who died in the crash in August. Quote, fragments of hand grenades were found in the bodies of those killed in the crash, Putin told a meeting of the Vadai Discussion Club in the Black Sea resort of Sochi. The private Embraer jet on which Prigozhin was traveling to St. Petersburg crashed north of Moscow, killing all 10 people on board on August 23rd. 2 other top Wagner figures, Prigozhin's 4 bodyguards and a crew of 3, were also killed. Putin did not give any more details about how a grenade or grenades could have been detonated on board the executive jet, but said he thought investigators were wrong not to have carried out alcohol and drug tests on the bodies of those who died in the crash. Putin also claimed that searches of Wagner's offices in St. Petersburg after the crash turned up 10 billion rubles in cash and 5 kg of cocaine. Dengue fever will become a major threat in the southern United States, southern Europe, and new parts of Africa this decade, the WHO's chief scientist said, as summer temperatures create the conditions for the mosquitoes carrying the infection to spread. The illness has long been a scourge in much of Asia and Latin America, causing an estimated 20,000 deaths each year. Rates of the disease have already risen 8-fold globally since 2000, driven largely by climate change as well as the increased movement of people and urbanization. Many cases go unrecorded, but in 2022, 4.2 million cases were reported worldwide, and public health officials have warned that near record levels of transmission are expected this year. Bangladesh is currently experiencing its worst ever outbreak with more than 1,000 deaths. Farah previously spent 18 years working in Vietnam on tropical diseases, including dengue. He later headed up the Wellcome Trust Global Health Charity and advised the UK government on its COVID-19 response before joining the WHO in May this year. Former US President Donald Trump has endorsed Congressman Jim Jordan to replace overthrown U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy as the chamber's fractious Republicans try to unify in the aftermath of McCarthy's historic fall. The announcement came hours after Texas Republican Troy Nehls said on Thursday night that Trump had decided to back Jordan's bid. Two Republican lawmakers are campaigning for the speakership: Representative Steve Scalise, who was second to McCarthy on the leadership ladder, and Jordan, an outspoken conservative from Ohio who has led investigations into President Joe Biden's administration. Republicans, who control the House of Representatives by a narrow 221 to 212 margin, are due to hold a closed-door forum for candidates seeking the speakership on Tuesday, a meeting that the former Republican president said he could attend. A vote is expected the next day. However, acrimony and resentment over McCarthy's removal could make nominating a new speaker a challenge for House Republicans. The Truth Social app post follows earlier reports that Trump, the frontrunner for the 2024 Republican nomination to challenge Democratic President Joe Biden, might agree to replace McCarthy for a short time. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy weekend.